You hear me? Word. Listen, if my boob pop out, my bad. Okay, y'all. Because you know, ever since I done got this boob reduction, you know I can't feel shit in my titties. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Michael Jackson's The Magic, the Madness, the Whole Story by J. Randy Terrible Lele. I love you, dude. When Berry Gordy learned that the Jacksons had enjoyed a successful opening night in Las Vegas, he sent a contingent of Motown executives to the city in order to present an image of corporate solidarity behind the family. We were always certain that the boys had what it took. He then noted in a prepared statement sent to the press, "This is just the tip of the iceberg where the Jacksons' talent is concerned." Backstage after the fourth night performance, Joseph read the press release article to his family. The family felt betrayed, except for Jermaine, who had no comment to make about it. The triumph in Las Vegas was Joseph's to claim, not Barry's. After he finished reading the article, Joseph crumpled the newspaper in his hands and flung it into the trash. Y'all remember when Tasha K took that cease and desist order that Cardi B sent her and wiped her ass with it? I remember. Those of you who are T.S. Madison fans, I was a part of the Maddie mob before there was such thing as the Maddie mob, okay? But anyway, you know Tasha K and T.S. Madison are into it right now, child. Tasha K, she just got a lot going on. I hope the best for her. You know, nobody deserves the public humiliation that she's going through right now, okay? But you know, humiliation don't matter to her. She's still going to reach out there and try to chop somebody in the back of their neck. Y'all, Tasha K had made a statement this morning about T.S. Madison possibly being a Real Housewife of Atlanta. Tasha K was like, oh no, I don't want to see that, right? But I mean, it would be interesting and it may bring views to the franchise. That's what I believe. Why did Maddie go in on her son? Because her son is not here in America. Her son is in Africa, back home. Maddie says it's because she can't afford to have the son here. From what I understand about African tradition is when you have a son here in America, it's tradition to send them back to Africa so that they can be reared with their African culture. But anyway, it's going to be fun to see them two going back and forth with each other. In August 1974, the Jackson family was again booked into the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. But behind the scenes, things were no less tense. Album releases were becoming less frequent, whereas they used to have at least 3 a year. In 1974, there was only one. The Dancing Machine album, 2 singles that were released at the end of the year, Whatever You Got I Want and I'm in Love, were not successful. As if all of the business problems were not enough of a distraction for the young performers, their mother discovered that Joseph had been having an affair with a Jackson 5 fan from Kansas. She was a 26-year-old black woman who had at first been attracted to Jackie. When he expressed no interest, she turned to his father. Gross. So if I can't have Jackie, I'll have the nutsack that Jackie came from. That is gross. It was rumored that the woman was pregnant. The issue was not discussed openly. The boys whispered about it among themselves. The question was obvious. Was Joseph the father of her child? The thought that Joseph was having a child with another woman was so upsetting to Michael he could barely perform. It was, as far as he was concerned, the ultimate betrayal of his mother. Again, what the hell? What? I don't know. Just use a condom. Just use a condom. I don't get it. Or pull out. I just don't get it. Girl, I don't get it. Joseph, you know you round here laying up with all your son's groupies. Use a condom. I don't get it. Why would you get one pregnant? That is like the dumbest shit ever that men do. But then some men are just stupid. They are super stupid. In the winter of 1974, Michael Jackson's 23-year-old brother, Jackie, made newspaper headlines when he suddenly married Enid Spann. Jackie had met her at a birthday party for Hazel Gordy 5 years earlier. Enid attended Beverly Hills High, as did Hazel, and was just 15 when she and Jackie, 3 years her senior, became attracted to each other. She got the news about a prenuptial agreement early on. Now, Hazel ain't tripping about no prenup. Hazel ain't, because her daddy is, after all, Berry Gordy. Tito's wife, what's Tito's wife's name? Dee Dee, right? Dee Dee was like, it don't matter. I love you, Tito. I'm going to sign the prenup anyway. I love you. Enid was like, I ain't signing shit. If you love me and I love you, we together. Period. And Joseph was like, who is she? She can't do what I tell her to do. And Jackie's turned on by the fact that Enid don't give two scrigs about Joseph and the power. Jackie's impressed by the fact that Enid is not intimidated by Joseph. A lot of people are. Not Enid. We know Enid was a little crazy too. But still, I wouldn't be intimidated by no damn Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson could kiss my ass as far as I was concerned. Who you talking to? I got a daddy. You ain't my daddy. You Catherine's daddy, but you ain't my daddy. Enid recalled that she was then totally turned off. And when I told my mother what had happened, she was upset. It was a mean thing to do to a 15-year-old. After that, me and Jackie didn't hit it off. I thought he had something to do with my conversation with the lawyer, Richard. Because that's Richard's job. You like one of the Jackson boys, sign this prenup. Enid is like, fuck you and that prenup. As a matter of fact, tell Jackie don't call me no more. But Jackie turned on. He like, ooh, somebody that will tell Joe to kiss my ass. I want to marry her and give her children. However, when I finally told him what Richard and I discussed, he got angry and told him, how dare you say that to her? Jackie and 20-year-old Enid was married in a small private ceremony in Jackie's room at MGM Grand in Las Vegas during another of the family engagements there. Joseph suspected that Enid had ulterior motives for marrying his son. Don't you got ulterior motives for the Jacksons? You could be the only one to take advantage of the Jackson 5. Can't nobody else make no money off the Jackson 5. Just you? Okay. Joseph suspected that Enid had ulterior motives for marrying his son, especially since, unlike Tito's wife, Dee Dee, she would not sign a prenuptial agreement. He also felt that Enid was too outspoken and independent and would be a problem for you or Jackie. Joseph. That Joseph forbade Jackie to marry Enid Spann only served to motivate his eldest son towards the altar. For Jackie, The fact that he was uniting himself with a woman with whom he presumably would spend the rest of his life seemed less important than the fact that he was defying his father. In January 1975, Motown released Michael Jackson's fourth solo album, Forever Michael. Okay, pause. One of you told me, this what y'all told me, that for real, them wasn't Michael Jackson solo albums. Said clearly the Jackson brothers were doing the background. I was like, oh yeah, that is the Jacksons. I said, God damn, they tricked me. That wasn't Michael's album. That was the Jackson 5 album with just Michael Jackson name on it. Thank y'all. Y'all open my eyes to new shiz every day. It was not a success. Peaking at only 101 on the charts, 8 notches lower than Michael's poorly selling Music and Me album. Neither album would even make the top 50 in the UK, and the rest of Europe also showed dismal sales. That's it, Joseph decided. He's not recording any more solo albums for Gordy. That man's gonna ruin Michael. Joseph had become increasingly agitated by Motown's lack of promotion and Barry's contention that the group had no potential to write or produce their own music. Joseph realized that his sons would never make big money unless they owned the publishing rights to their own songs. If any artist writes his own material, he makes not only an artist royalty, but an additional royalty, since songwriters are paid a royalty on every record that is sold. Most of Barry's songwriters were signed to Joe Batt, his publishing company. Therefore, they had to split their 2 cents with Barry. Joseph wanted his boys to establish their own publishing company so that they could keep the money in the family. The more he pressed the idea forward, the more Barry resisted. In the past, Barry had always been reluctant to share the money generated from publishing rights to Motown songs. At this same time, Smokey Robinson, Barry's closest friend, was negotiating with Barry to allow him to publish his own songs as well. I remember reading this in Smokey Robinson's book. He was very hurt. Smokey Robinson went to him and said to him, hey man, this is what I want to do. Barry snapped on him. That's right, baby. I know. Barry snapped on him. It was like, do what the fuck you want to do. I don't care. Smokey was in his feelings. He was like, man, I'm your friend. I'm not everybody else. I'm your friend too. And this is how you talk to me? Eventually, it worked out for him. Eventually, Barry did allow Smokey to share that money so he could be swayed. However, persistence was always the key when it came to Barry Gordy to do something about which he was reluctant. Smokey and Barry were friends, yet Smokey had to endure a fair amount of tough negotiation. What could Joseph, certainly no friend, expect from Barry? Michael was as unhappy as the rest of the family about what was going on at Motown, yet he still felt a loyalty to Barry. After all, it was largely due to Barry's confidence in the Jackson 5 that the family now found itself in a position to be able to pick and choose among other record companies. This was a major decision for young Michael, and he didn't want his father, a man he didn't trust or even like, making it for him. The other Jacksons thought of Michael as being bashful and reserved, which was certainly true in most cases. However, there was another dimension to Michael, a side he did not often show, but which was there just the same. His resolve. Where his future at Motown was concerned, 16-year-old Michael Jackson was prepared to take matters into his own hands. He picked up the phone in his bedroom and dialed. Mr. Gordy, he said, you and I need to talk.